Hey babe, I need you to sit with me for a few moments because there's something I've been holding on to, something your friends shared with me that left me absolutely stunned. It wasn't the sort of casual compliment people throw around out of politeness. No, it went far beyond that. The depth of their words, the emotion behind them, and the way they looked at me when they spoke all carried a weight I never expected. It was one of those moments where you can practically feel the air in the room shift, where everything suddenly becomes more profound and urgent. I knew right then that I had to share this with you. So please, just allow me these moments to tell you everything, because you deserve to know. I first heard it in the middle of an otherwise ordinary conversation. We were just sitting around, talking about everything and nothing at all, the way people do when they feel comfortable with each other. I don't even remember what led us to this topic or how exactly it came up, because the words themselves have overshadowed all the minor details. All I know is that I mentioned something about you, some small anecdote, or maybe an expression of gratitude for something you had helped me with. And suddenly, that gave them an opening. They looked at each other, these friends of yours, and their faces lit up in a way I could only describe as proud. You know that look people get when they're about to share a piece of happy news they've been itching to tell? It was like that, but deeper, like they'd been waiting for a chance to open up, to let me know who you truly are in their eyes. I'll admit, I wasn't sure what to expect. My mind started racing with possibilities. Maybe they were going to tease you, or maybe they wanted to share a humorous story from years past. But then, as they began to speak, I realized it was something so much more meaningful than a joke or a quick compliment. They described you with this undeniable sincerity, and as their words poured out, I felt like I was seeing you from an entirely new angle. They told me how you've been their ultimate rock for years, maybe even decades, depending on how long each of them has known you. They said there's a certain unwavering presence you bring into any room, a stability that people can feel the moment you step through the door. It's not something you necessarily proclaim about yourself. It's just there, like an unspoken truth. Your friends feel it as an almost palpable sense of comfort and safety, knowing that if things ever go south, whether in their jobs, their relationships, or their personal struggles, you'll be the first to pick up the phone and say, I'm on my way. They recounted stories, countless ones, about moments when life hit them hard. One might have been going through a heartbreak, another might have had a health scare, and yet another might have been grappling with financial uncertainties. Regardless of the specific crisis, your name always rose to the top of their list of people to call. They knew, without a shred of doubt, that you would be there. And I'm not just talking about superficial support or words of encouragement. No, I mean physically there, knocking on their door, cooking them meals, staying up late to talk through their fears, brainstorming solutions, or just sharing a quiet presence when words failed. Listening to them, I was struck by how universal this sentiment was among them. It wasn't just one person saying, oh yeah, she's a good friend. It was unanimous, like a chorus. Each friend had their own unique story, but the common thread was your reliability, your warmth, and your capacity to shoulder their burdens alongside them. They trust you with the rawest parts of their hearts, the parts they're sometimes afraid to show even to themselves. The way they spoke made me realize that you are not just a friend, you are a beacon for them. Somebody they can look up to and rely on in a world that often feels unpredictable. And while I've seen glimpses of this side of you, hearing it through their experiences painted a much fuller picture. It was as though each story added a piece to the puzzle of who you are, until a vibrant, beautiful image took shape. At first, I couldn't respond. I just sat there, absorbing their words, letting them sink in. My chest felt tight, and my heart pounded with such force that it almost felt audible. Why hadn't I realized, until that moment, the sheer magnitude of what you do for the people you love? But then it dawned on me. Often, we don't fully recognize the wonders of a person we see every day or talk to every day because we're so close to it, so immersed in it, that we forget to step back and look at the bigger picture. In a single instant, everything shifted in my mind. Memories of you flooded back, times you'd shown up for me when I was struggling, the patience in your voice when I was confused or upset, the quiet sacrifices you made without ever announcing them. I remembered the late night calls you accepted when I just needed to hear your voice to calm my racing thoughts. I recalled the unwavering support you gave me when I doubted myself, the gentle encouragement, and the strong belief you never failed to display. I realized I'd been a recipient of the exact same kindness, stability, and warmth your friends described. That's when I truly understood. You are a remarkable person, not just in fleeting moments, but consistently, across many years and across many relationships. You have this core of compassion, this deep well of empathy that guides your interactions. You don't just say, I'm here for you. You embody it through actions, presence, and understanding. And people feel it deeply. They trust it because they know it's genuine. Your friends talked about how you bring out the best in them, simply by believing in them when they've lost faith in themselves. They said that in moments of heartbreak or failure, you have this uncanny ability to remind them that they're worthy of happiness and capable of overcoming whatever stands in their way. It's not in a hollow, motivational poster sort of way either. Instead, it's with a grounded, authentic reassurance that resonates with them long after you've left the room. More than once, they mentioned how even the simplest gestures from you, like a text message at the right moment, could change the trajectory of their day or even their week. I think that's part of the magic of what you do. It's not always the grand, sweeping actions. Sometimes it's the little things that carry the biggest impact. You have a knack for sensing when someone is on the edge, teetering between despair and hope, and you find just the right way to pull them back to solid ground. One of your friends recalled a day when she felt completely alone, convinced that nobody could possibly understand what she was going through. But then her phone buzzed, and there you were, checking in, asking with genuine interest how she was feeling. In that moment, she said, she felt seen, truly seen. And for her, that changed everything. It was the turning point in a period of her life she described as a fog she couldn't escape. Just that single text, that small sign of care, became a lifeline. It's stories like these that your friends keep close to their hearts. They cherish them because they remind them that not everybody in this world is too busy or self-absorbed to notice another person's silent cry for help. You see people, you hear them, and you respond. That is a gift, one that isn't taught in any classroom, one that can't be forced or faked. It's woven into the fabric of who you are, and it's part of what makes you shine so brightly. As they continued talking, I found myself growing more and more proud to know you. I started thinking about all the ways you've been that source of light for me. Looking back, I realized I might not have properly thanked you for how often you've been there when I needed you. Maybe I took it for granted at times, just assuming you'd always be available. But now, I see that not everyone has someone like that in their lives. Someone who will go to such lengths, sometimes dropping everything at a moment's notice, just to be there. I remember a particular night when I was completely overwhelmed. I had so many thoughts swirling in my head that I couldn't sleep. I must have called you at some absurd hour, expecting to leave a voicemail or perhaps a text for you to see in the morning. But you picked up, and you didn't just pick up, you stayed on the line, patiently listening, offering words that felt like a warm blanket on a freezing night. I felt understood, comforted, and not so alone anymore. That memory still brings me a sense of calm whenever I recall it. Hearing your friend's stories made me realize that was just one instance among many. You've been doing this for so many people, across so many situations. You have a heart big enough to wrap around every person you care about, and you do it willingly without expecting any specific reward or recognition. That's rare. It's precious. I think that's part of why their words hit me so hard. It's not just that they said you're kind or supportive, it's that you fundamentally changed the trajectory of people's lives by being in them. You're like a strong foundation upon which they can rebuild when everything else crumbles. You're the calm in the center of the storm, the guiding star that helps them navigate the darkest nights. When I consider what that means for me personally, it feels like I've been given a precious gift, someone who loves and supports me in ways I didn't even fully appreciate. And I think appreciation is exactly what I want to convey to you now. Deep, unwavering appreciation. Not just for the things you do for me, but for the person you are, the light you bring to others, and the hope you inspire in everyone around you. I also want to remind you that your own worth is not solely defined by how you help others. While it's beautiful to see you give so freely of yourself, you are deserving of just as much love, care, and devotion. Sometimes people who are the biggest givers end up neglecting their own needs. I hope you remember that you have every right to lean on me, on your friends, on the people who love you. You don't always have to be the strong one. You don't always have to be the unwavering foundation. If ever you find yourself tired or feeling vulnerable, please remember it's okay to let us know. Because that's the other side of love and friendship, the willingness to support each other. You deserve to be held and comforted, just as you hold and comfort others. And based on the depth of your relationships, I have no doubt that your friends and I would all rush to your side if ever you needed us. But I understand that, for someone like you, a natural caretaker, asking for help or support might feel unfamiliar, maybe even uncomfortable. Let me be the one to say it clearly. You don't have to carry everything on your own. You've given so much of yourself, and you will continue to do so because that's who you are, but we want to be there for you too. It's important to me that you hear these words from me now, because sometimes we forget to voice our admiration and gratitude. We assume the other person knows how we feel, or we wait for a special occasion to express it. But why wait when every day is a chance to tell someone how much they matter? Why hold back when you could brighten their moment with a simple acknowledgement of who they are and what they mean to you? The impact you have on your friends and on me is immeasurable. You give people hope and remind them that, even in a chaotic and sometimes frightening world, there are souls like you who reflect the best of humanity. You show that empathy is not just a concept, but a living, breathing force capable of comforting hearts and changing lives. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this conversation, it's this. Your friends see you, I see you, and we treasure the person you are. Their words were laced with gratitude, respect, and a profound sense of admiration. They spoke of you like someone who has quietly guided them through life's storms, and who continues to do so without expecting praise. I can't emphasize enough how heartfelt their stories were. It was like being given the keys to a vault full of precious memories, each one radiating with warmth and genuine love. You have made, and continue to make, a difference in their lives, and in mine. Sometimes you may not realize the true extent of your impact, because your kindness often comes so naturally to you. But I want you to pause and truly absorb what I'm saying. You matter deeply to a multitude of people. You lift them up when they can't stand on their own. You shine a light when they're lost in darkness. And you remind them, time and again, that they are not alone. I'm telling you this because I want you to know how profoundly you're appreciated. I don't want a day to pass where you question your value or doubt your significance in the world. What your friends revealed has only confirmed what I felt in my heart for a long time, that you are, without a doubt, a rare and precious soul.